what focus would you put on wear and tear and maintenance and the durability of these products? So, from my perspective, a brand new HMO 2 years ago, I can go in now this year and walk in and think, fucking hell, they really drop off a cliff in terms. And I know a lot of that is to do with the management and how attentive the agent or the landlord is and how much they put into maintenance and wear and tear. But from your design-led size and functionality, presumably you're building in a reduction in wear and tear and maintenance costs as well.
Yeah, obviously you have to look. There are like quite a few. I would say at least 3 aspects to this. You have to look at materials which are very durable.
Yeah,
and will stand the test of time, and then they're built in a way to last in these kind of environments. Yeah, and one other thing is for you to make sure that everything it has its own purpose at the right place. You're not going to just have an item; it's just there for show. One other important factor to this is that by building such a product, then you attract better tenants.
yeah,
So usually doesn't come with tenants which they don't look after the property.
yeah. More
Because
volatile tenant base kind of thing.
they usually they look around and then they'll see that there's not much similar type of properties as this one. So usually a space demands like for you to look after better.
Yeah.
If you go in a hotel that is just a simple room or just a bed, obviously it feels like it's good for the night, yeah, but it doesn't attract that much care from your side.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go to a luxury hotel,
You feel more
I mean,
proud to
even
be there.
your voice drops, and then if you go in a really luxurious room,
Yeah.
so it's a complete properties. They have this emotional aspect associated with them.
Yeah.
Or if you rent a property or buy one, you make an emotional decision because that's going to be a place for many years to come, maybe. Yeah. I mean, I'm all the time. I make this this comparison. Like, let's say maybe you might be a couple, and then you go and then look for your own property, and then your other half will say, you know what, we're just gonna get this one because it just feels right. The kitchen is great, the living is great. I really don't care that like 10-15% more than the other ones we've seen. This is the one. A lot of the time, this happens with HMOs as well. Once you pass that threshold from your average, and then once you go to your top 20-30%, then people make a decision with their heart, like saying, this feels right. Look at this. They even have some recessed lighting. They have a wine cooler in the kitchen. They have this, I don't know, PlayStation. They have this big screen. They thought of this. Like, I mean, you've seen all the other ones. They haven't. No, I mean, so this says a lot about the landlord, the attention to detail.
But you've got, so the thing with where you hit both angles from, because I go to a lot of HMOs where the developer has understood that bit, and even if they've got the M&E right, and even if they've sort of laid the rooms out right, so they understand and they're thinking about trying to create a real premium product, and sometimes it's too much, if you like, they've really gone too boutique and pushed the boat out, and they've almost taken that brief too far and spent too much on it. But what tends to happen is that they forget about the ongoing durability and maintenance, and the fact that the traps in the en-suites and having access points into things that are going to potentially, weak points in the plumbing, and where you've got to do the drainage, and where you've got to replace a hob after 2 or 3 years. Yeah. Those kind of things are what catches out the people that are purely just looking at aesthetics. And the amount of developers that I've worked with over the last 6 or 7 years who have started building a portfolio of HMOs, one of the things they say to me after 4 or 5 HMOs is, right, now I'm starting to, like, they're almost learning through mistakes what you're doing in advance for clients, where they're going, okay, now I get it. Now I understand that those tenants have been leaving because of acoustics or because of sockets, and I'm understanding that I've had to remove all of these tiles to get behind for the toilet because I had this, recessed toilet, and I've had to lift tiles up on the floor to change a shower trap because it's been leaking. And they learn that by mistakes, but you're building it in advance. I
mean, we tackled this aspect, I think, from the first time we having a conversation from design brief.
But
because
people don't think about that with HMOs.
yeah, because I mean it's one thing to look at minimizing cost and so, but it's up to a point that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you just go in with entry level spec items, then further down the line you're gonna have issues a lot faster than you would have.
Yeah.
Because if you spend more now on certain things, obviously they last longer.
Yeah.
I mean, I give an example with wardrobes, with flooring, which paint you're gonna use, like the high standard paint, or sometimes you do a feature wall with in wallpaper. Which kind is it? Is it, I don't know, hotel grade, or just like something that you use in residential home? So all these things, obviously, you can't really be bringing down costs to the entry level.
Yeah.
So let's say if your spectrum price wise it's 1 to 10, maybe you should go something like 6 or 7. It still makes commercial sense from that
You're buying
spending
down
point
your
of view.
maintenance.
But obviously you're buying time in that respect, that it's going to last longer. You're going to have a better tap, better shower set, so it doesn't break, and so on. All those things, especially that are like integrate, and you have to, like, just like I mentioned earlier, that you have to break into tiles and things like that, change.
Because what I think the thing with HMOs, and as you've been talking today, the one thing that I've got to emphasise from my side is that if you don't look after from a management perspective, everything. So I sell a good quality HMO to a new buyer. If there isn't an agent in place to manage it properly, and if you can design the greatest HMO, but if the landlord just treats the tenants with disrespect, and there's a bad management structure, so things can really drop off a cliff. So management's key post having a really good HMO. But what I think I've seen so much over the last few years is the durability of products inside the studio style HMO rooms, because cleaners come in, communal cleaners, they go into the communal kitchens, communal bathrooms, and they've got eyes on the room. They've got eyes on the property every single week. So they go in. So any little maintenance issues can be spotted. But when you lock a kitchenette behind a closed door, and when you've got the ensuite behind a closed door, the cleaners aren't going in once a week and seeing those. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of studio style HMO rooms where the kitchenettes have really suffered with wear and tear, because behind that locked door, as a landlord, unless you're doing really detailed inspections and you've got good quality tenants, you don't know what they're doing with those properties. So the fact that you're more durable products and you've got the slightly better taps and slightly better, it reduces a lot of that risk as well.
Yeah, and so it's a really fine balancing act to get it right, because you're spending a bit more on like higher quality items.
Yeah.
Then you're trying to attract better tenants, and they have less voids.
Yeah.
They want to be there for longer. Obviously, if they want to be there for long period of time, then I'm going to look after in ideal scenario, look after the property better. And then if you attract someone which is willing to pay 25, 30, 35 more than your average type room, a lot of times that they have like usually better jobs, higher IQ, things like that, and then they have a, I don't know, better mindset about how they should operate in this kind of environment.
Yeah.
So usually what you give is what you get back.
Yeah.
So you give a better product, you should give something better back. But there's so many aspects of this.